So coming up to standing, you might want a towel or some sort of cushion for your knee. Since we're working on the hips, we'll be doing some kneeling stuff for sure. But we'll get there in a little bit. So we're gonna start, when you're ready, just start pedaling your feet. So just wake up your toes and your ankles. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Good. Just for maybe for the first time today, pay attention to your feet, spreading your toes. Good morning, Ellen. Good. We're working on hips today, just so you know. We're gonna do, a little L5-S1 at the start and at the end so that we can see if there's any difference from beginning to end after we work on the hips. Okay, so let's take the arms up, breathing in, keep pedaling your feet, and then exhale your arms down. Good. And this can be a big stretch up if it feels like that's a good idea, or it can be just kind of gentle, just floating the arms up and down. We'll do 3 more, inhaling up, and then exhaling down. Good, and 2 more. Start to focus in on your own body, kind of go into a bit of a bubble just right around you, just enough to cover your space, your mat, and yourself. Nicely done, and then we'll start marching on the spot. Good, and we'll get the knees quite high right off the bat here. If you need to warm a little more time to warm up, then start with smaller marches. But if you can, go for high knees right away. Good, spine really tall, lifting tall, and maybe eyes to the horizon here just for a few breaths. So you can put yourself somewhere beautiful if you aren't already. And think about walking down a boardwalk or through a forest or through a field or on a beach. Looking ahead, shoulders easy. Good. Quiet feet. Every time they come down, they're a little bit quieter. The knees are still high. Good. Let's get the arms pumping up and down over the shoulders. So start pumping the arms up to the sky and then back down. Good. Yes, nice work. Get the elbows moving. Good. Palms are kind of open, so you don't have to crazy spread the fingers, but nice open palms. Nice work. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're actually just going to stay with the arms like this for another 20 to 30 seconds because I want to get the heart rate up pretty quickly today and just get on to the hips. So turn your thighs out. Let's just do a little external rotation from the hip. So think about the top of the thigh turned out. Okay, let's let our arms come down into opposition. Keep your turned out march. Good, breathe in and out. That's it. And then bring the legs back to parallel and change to internal rotation. I always feel in this one that the pelvis is rotating, of course. So you're not trying to hold it square, but make sure that you're not only rotating your low back, you are turning the thigh in as well. Good. And then we're just going to do our hacky sack warm up. So come back to regular march. Good. And then to get that external rotation in the thigh, you're just going to kick your heel across. So it kind of looks like the march with the legs turned out, but more about trying to get the heel across. Good. And we'll keep the pace up so we don't lose that nice heart rate increase. Good. Okay. And then back to parallel. That looks great. And then the heel out to the side. So you're going to hacky sack that heel to the side. Good, and again, just notice here, because it's internal rotation, where we might be a bit more limited, notice how much you're turning your torso to get that movement. Here, maybe try to keep the hips slightly more square and isolate the internal rotation more in the hip. Back to regular marching. Good, really nice. Take your feet out wider than your shoulders. We'll keep moving a little bit here. Hands to your hips. We're going to do step, touch. And I want you to feel the glutes working, the bigger muscles around the thighs and the hips. Good. We're going to push through the standing leg. Good. And then the opposite arm is just going to reach up so that we're getting a nice stretch up along the side of the body. Really, this is about kind of a mini squat followed by a push, like you almost might leap up and just tap the ceiling above you. Good. Or the sky. That's it. Nice work. Feeling the glutes working, feeling the spine tall. 8 more. Good. Breathe in through the nose. 4 more. Great job. Okay, come into the center with the feet still wide. Shift from side to side, and our last kind of cardio is just the figure eights or the infinity symbol with the arms. I like this as a nice shoulder warm up because, of course, even though we're working on the hips, our shoulders are going to be doing lots of movement. Okay, so we're going to turn your torso, explore your spine here. How does it feel to rotate the rib cage and the thoracic spine? How does it feel to get the arms going down and straight up? So waking up the shoulders in a big range of motion. And of course, you want the knee tracking nicely over the middle of the foot. Good alignment with the knee. Good, we'll do about, let's do about 4 more big infinity symbols here. So there's 1. And here's 2. Breathing in, I'm gonna breathe into my back because it feels a little tight today. Good, and then we're gonna bring ourselves all the way into the center. Lace your fingers and press your palms forward. Inhale your arms up to the ceiling, breathe in. Exhale, side bend right, don't force, just getting things going. Inhale to the ceiling and exhale, side bend left. You know this series, inhale to the ceiling, exhale, bend your knees, curl your tail, flex your spine. Breathe into that, and then exhale, hands around to the small of the back, extend the spine, open the chest, relax the arms. We'll go again. Lace the fingers, press them forward and up, inhale. Go to the left, exhale, nice curve in the spine. You got it. Inhale up. Keep the chest soft. Think about the spine going. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, bend your knees, flex your spine, rounding over a beach ball. Breathe into the back. And then exhale, release the arms. Exactly. Nice elbows reach. Open the chest. And then relax. Good. Feet a little bit wider here. Hip circles. Let's say hello to the pelvis, hello to the hips. Feel the feet planted down. You can let your feet move, but just try to make the hips the kind of focus of your attention right now. Then go the other way, hips going around the other way. Good, big hula hoop circles. Let's take the arms out to the sides, external rotation, extended wrists. Figure eights with the hips, so soft knees. And I like the arms here today because I want you to push through the heels of your hands. Push through the crown of the head, chin is in. Good, amazing, that looks excellent. Go the opposite way. So really nice movement at the pelvis while keeping the shoulder girdle and the neck and the head steady. Don't hold your breath. Good, nicely done. Bring your hands behind your head, bend your knees. Just give your head something to gently rest back against and play with posterior, anterior tilt. Pulling the sacrum down away from the bottom ribs and trying to keep the chest soft. So if you need one hand here, you can always do that too, to make sure that you're not popping your ribs forward. Breathe into your belly and into your back. So a nice full breath. Good. And then release your arms down. Take your feet a little wider. We're going to do our hip hike and drop exercise. So turn your toes in. We'll start with the knees straight, posteriorly tilt your pelvis. Today, hands on the shoulders for this one. You're going to keep the bottom of the ribs level, shoulders level. Lift your right heel, hike your right hip up and lower it down. Lift your left heel, hike your left hip up, lower it down. Good. Keep going. Right heel lifts, hip hikes, and down. Little posterior tilt left and down. You're going to try not to push your ribs to the opposite side. The hip hikes up, but the shoulders stay where they are in space. The ribs stay where they are in space. Don't force it. If your low back is a little bit tight, keep it small. Think about just isolating that pelvis. Very nice. Now let's do the knee bend. Bend your right knee, let your hip go down and up. Bend your left knee, hip down and up. Good. And this one's a little harder, especially if you're feeling tight. So Think about the hip dropping, but keep the same side rib where it is, the lower rib. Keep it where it is. Let the hip drop down away. Good. Notice if you're collapsing in the sternum or collapsing in the rib cage. That looks good, ladies. Nicely done. One more each side. And then we combine the two, but we're going to add our arms out to the side. So posterior tilt, toes turned in, hike the right hip up, and then lower the heel, bend the knee, lower the hip, and back to level. Left side, hip hikes up, lower it down, bend the knee, and back to level. And we go up and down, lower the hip, and down. That's right. And lift the heel, lower it down, bend the knee, lower the hip, and down. Two more each side. Hike the hip, bring it to neutral, then lower the hip, bring it to neutral. Like left hip hikes, then neutral, and lower, and neutral. One more time, right hip, and neutral. Good. Don't worry about it being perfect, but try to isolate the pelvis each time. Good work. And then hip and down. Good. Relax the arms. March it out on the spot. Nice work, ladies. I just want to roll that out with a standing cat-cow. So your hands are going to go onto your thighs, and you can hold however you want. And we're just going to tuck the tail and tuck the chin. Breathe into that flexed spine, and then reach the tail long. Maybe eyes forward, a little extension. And again, curling under, just whatever feels like a good stretch. And then releasing. And my lumbar spine doesn't tend to flex very well, but I'm trying to round it. And then I'm going to release that effort. Let's do one more time. So rounding the spine, trying to flex evenly, and then releasing. And then we're just going to flex and roll up out of that flexion. So rolling up. Good. Okay. Waking up the hip flexors here. Put your hands on your hips. Good. You're going to have a bit of a lemniscat in the right leg. So press your big toe and inner heel down, middle foot down. Turn the shin out, turn the thigh in. So there's a triangle on the foot and the bones are rotated. And then lift your left leg off the floor, knee in line with the hip, flex the foot, and just little pulses up. We're not going to do a ton of these, but I just want to wake up the hip flexors, wake up the psoas. So really tall spine. Good. Just about 4 more pulses here. And then you're going to turn your leg out and pulse up, thinking about the inner thigh pointing to the ceiling, inner knee looking at the ceiling, lemniscat in the leg, shin out, thigh in. And then the last thing is you're going to go back to parallel, bring the knee up a little higher, tap your foot behind you, and bring the knee up, tap the foot back. And keep the spine tall, keep a little posterior tilt. You're really trying to fix the pelvis in place and move the thigh bone. Nicely done. Can we do 2 more? Up and down. 1 more, up and down. And then you march it out and let that all just go for a second. Nice work. Okay, here we go. Standing leg, the left leg, a tripod on the foot, big toe, inner heel, and outer middle foot, shin out, thigh in, posterior tilt, and when you're ready, lifting the right leg up, flexing the foot, knee pulsing straight up. So just a little pulse up, but you don't want that thigh to go lower than parallel to the floor. Push your head up to the ceiling and just focus on something that won't move in front of you. You've got it. Start to turn your thigh out so the inner knee, inner thigh are looking up. Still keep that pulse, keep the spine. Nicely done. Let's turn back to parallel, pull the knee up and then tap the toe back. Pull the knee up and tap the toe back. Try to keep the posterior tilt in the pelvis. Keep the spine tall. Very nice. 2 more times. 1 more. Yeah, exactly. Great. Relax sternum. March it out. Okay. Standing ELDOA, and then we go to the wall for L5-S1. So that same tripod on the feet. Big toe, outer middle foot, inner heel, shins out, thighs in. Now the psoas is lengthened out. So we're lifting the ribs away from the pelvis. letting the tail dangle, floating the head. Take your arms out in front, one at a time. Just feel that nice external rotation from the shoulder. And now really relax jaw. As your arms go up towards your ears, relax the face muscles. Relax the chest down. The arms come back only as far as you can maintain your xiphoid process pointing to your pubic bones, right? So bottom of the sternum points straight down. Once you've got that for a few breaths and you're lifting, pushing your arms up into the sky, you might find you can work the arms back a millimeter, work the ears back a millimeter, soften the xiphoid process again, and push. Good, this all looks excellent. So keep working your way back with the arms and the ribs. Keep working the rotations in the shins and the thighs. And now a full spine stretch. Put your awareness all the way up and down the spine for 5, 4, 3, well done, 2. Let's come out left arm first, then right arm, then left leg, then right leg. Stay tall, relax the tension through the torso. Good, and let's go to the wall and put our legs up the wall and try out L5-S1. So without having really done any ELDOAs or stretches yet, just being warmed up, we're just gonna see where the spine lands in L5-S1 without a lot of forcing. So I'll give you a moment to get yourself set up. And I'm gonna try and be, is a true experiment in the sense that we're gonna set L5-S1 up the exact same way now and then also again at the end of class after our hip stretches and everything. So for now, you're gonna have your knees a little bit soft, feet relaxed, but just make sure that your hips or your feet are about hip distance apart. So a little bit wider than sit bones. And then wiggle around to make sure your ribs are centered, shoulders and head and neck are centered. We're gonna just take 3 breaths. And those breaths are for you to relax your back body into the floor. So this is a gentle way of getting in. We're not going to be pushing anything down to the floor because we really just want to see where things are landing. Take a little snapshot of this in your mind for later. Now you're going to reach your tailbone, drop it like a little drawbridge towards the floor where it meets the wall. Then find the top of your sacrum and sink it into the mat. Keep the tail in the sacrum. Slide both legs up at the same time. Flex both feet, heels sliding up the wall. Think about the back of your knees pressing towards the wall as long as you don't hyperextend the knees. Let's keep the legs like this and we'll take our arms up to the ceiling. We're going to extend our wrists, open the palms, and start to externally rotate the arms from the shoulder. Hold that external rotation in the arm and start to internally rotate the thigh. And notice how they're doing opposites. Arms external, thighs internal. Add the lemniscate in the legs with the shins rolling out, and then invert your feet. Eyes are looking just above your toes on the wall. And here we go, take your arms by your ears, nice and easy. So that's the whole setup today. Keep breathing. Remember how we started, soft breaths, letting the back body relax into the ground. Then you reach your tailbone and sink the top of your sacrum. And then you were stretching up through the heels, flattening the back of the knees. Shins turned out while the thighs are in and the arms are turned out. And now really strongly pull your arms overhead, but keep that tail reaching, keep the top of the sacrum heavy. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bring the arms up to the ceiling. Let's release left arm to the floor and then right arm. Release left leg on the wall, then right leg. Soften your knees so your heels slide down a little bit. Soften your spine. Take a couple of belly breaths. We are conveniently at the wall, which is great for our glute stretch. So you're gonna wiggle some of your hips a little bit away from the wall. So you just wiggle the hips a little bit away from the wall. Straighten your right leg on the wall and cross your left ankle over your right knee, flexing your left foot. Anchor your sacrum, flatten it, and then start to bend your right knee so your foot slides down onto the wall. Ideally, the foot is flat. And here the arms actually get to rest at the sides because you're using the wall and that standing foot to maintain some tension. Left foot is flexed and everted. Push your sit bones towards the wall, press your tail to the ground, relax your chest. Everybody say, I'm gonna have a look. This is another moment too where, or at least the benefit of the wall, is you can see the alignment of your right knee. Is it in line with your shoulder? That's kind of the idea. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're gonna slowly slide the leg up the wall. So that'll release the stretch. Put your left heel on the wall, left leg straight, and cross right ankle over over left knee, and start to bend the knee. You want to flatten that sacrum, make sure you're not rocked over onto the left side of the pelvis. You're evenly weighted. Then you're going to flex and evert the right foot. Shoot energy out through your sit bones towards the wall. Press your tail down, relax your chest. Easy breaths. If you're finding that this isn't a deep enough stretch, all you have to do is wiggle your hips closer to the wall. So we'll stay here for a couple of belly breaths, relaxing the rib cage and the sternum. And after your next exhale, you start to release it. So you're gonna let the left leg slide up the wall, relax that right foot, switch sides one more time. So you're gonna cross left ankle over right knee, slide the right foot down the wall, press the right foot into the wall just enough that you feel like it's giving you a good bit of leverage. Flex and evert the left foot, of course. Shoot those sit bones out towards the wall, press the tail down, relax the chest and collarbones. Notice how the right knee is lined up with the right shoulder, maybe even walk your foot a little bit wide, see how that changes the stretch. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, nice, isn't this nice, not having to pull with the arms? Relax your legs, slide your right leg up. Switch sides. Left leg is straight on the wall, right ankle crosses. Center the pelvis and then bend your right knee or your left knee. This is your left knee. Again, a little push into the wall with your left foot to create some leverage. Flex and evert the right foot quite strongly. Shoot the sit bones to the wall. Press the tail down. Soften the collarbones. Breathe here. Adjust that left foot if you'd like. Sometimes bringing the knee a little wider or narrower gets just right into the best part of the stretch for you. And 2 more belly breaths. In through the nose and out. 1 more, in through the nose and out. Then we slide that foot up the wall. Good. Give your legs a little shake, shake, shake on the wall. And then roll to your side. And we'll move ourselves back into a position where we can get into the further stretches. We're going to do the psoas for sure, and the ELDOAs for the hips. So today is a psoas and the 90-90-90 stretches. Whew, it's a true hip class day. So when you're ready, you're going to meet me on your mat in a tall kneeling position with the left knee down and the right foot forward. Okay, we're going to go with kind of two different parts of the psoas stretch. We're going to do the upper part of the psoas where we want to focus on getting tall. And then we're also going to do iliacus where we're focusing on really wrapping the left hip bone around towards the back. So, tall version first. You're going to be on your left knee with your left foot kicked out to the side, right foot a little wide, a little forward. Good. We know we want a big posterior tilt for both of these. So pubic bone sliding to belly button. It's our first time doing it, so still be mindful. You want maximum posterior tilt, but you're also still breathing. We're going to take the hands behind the head because the focus is on length. So pull the base ribs back and lift them up towards your head and lift your head up towards the ceiling. Keep your pelvis tucked and add your side bend over to the right so that you open the left side of the body more, but keep nestling those ribs back and growing tall. Now take your sternum and your rib cage and rotate to the left. So the belly button rotates. Keep your right knee pointing straight forward. Good. Belly button, low ribs, spine, everything rotates. Release the arms one at a time out in front and imagine you could still grow tall, still pull the bottom ribs back, side bend to the right as you rotate to the left. And now the breath goes along the spine, the lower spine on the left. So you're breathing down into the left side of the lumbar spine. Good, shoulders down, pushing the arms forward, posterior tilt. Last 5, 4, get taller and taller, lift out of your spine. Yeah, amazing, nicely done. So now listen, we're gonna come out of the rotation and out of the side bend. Just put your hands on your hips and sneak your right foot forward even more. Good, now tuck your pelvis more, go into a big lunge, and you should feel quite wide here across the front of the pelvis. Your right elbow rests on your knee, but not a ton of pressure. So it's just resting there more for balance. Take your left hand and put it on your hip and pull your hip open. So I'm basically trying to take my hip crest and pull it back. And then here comes the left arm sweeping down and forward and up by the ear. Externally rotate that arm and push the shoulder blade out towards the hand. You're still trying to be tall and long through your spine, but the focus now is on pulling that left hip backwards and around towards your sacrum and pulling the arm up and along the ear. Good. Side bend a little bit to the right, just a little bit. Good. And breathe for 5, 4, 3. That looks great. 2, 1. You're going to bring the arm down, shift your weight back. Good. Come on to hands and knees and just do a cat-cow just to release. Doesn't have to be huge. Nicely done. Let's move along to the other side. So the right knee is going to be down with the foot off to the side. Little internal rotation there. And then here we go. Left foot a little bit wide of the shoulder. You got it. Good. First things first, big posterior tilt. Oof, the side is tighter for me, so I don't need as much tilt. Hands behind the head. So the back of the head and the back of the ribs are going to nestle back. I love that term. That's a Sarah Kirkpatrick term. So nestle the ribs back, grow taller, 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 because this one's all about the length. Then we side bend to the left. So isn't that great? The right side of the body can open up even just with a little side bend. Keep your left knee pointing straight forward, posterior tilt. Rotate the belly button, the ribs, the sternum to the right, but keep your side bend and keep that really lifted spine. Let's release one arm at a time so you don't lose any of those things you've set up so far. Let that left knee aim straight forward. Let the pubic bones pull up to the belly button. Side bending to open the right side, rotating and growing taller. And now your breath goes into the right low back, the right side of the lumbar spine for 5, 4. Really send your breath there. 3, 2, excellent. The next version, we're coming out of the rotation and side bend. We're sneaking the left foot wider and forward more. Put one hand on your right hip. Very gently, lightly rest the left elbow on the left knee and use your right hand to encourage your right hip to sort of swing open like a door. Then here comes the right arm, sweeping down and then up by the ear. And really connect your shoulder blade to your arm and pull the shoulder blade out and up. Wrap the right hip around the back, tuck the tail. You're probably already in a bit of a leftward side then, so don't force that part, but think about wrapping the hip bone around towards the sacrum, sliding the shoulder blade up, and breathe for 5. 4, that looks really good. Iliacus, the inside of the hip crest. 3, 2, nicely done. Bring the arm down. Ease your way out. Good, gently make your way onto hands and knees for that good old cat-cow. Good, sometimes you might feel a little like, woo, almost the tissues are like in a little bit of shock. So you're just gonna breathe and move gently to release that. Nice, ladies. Okay, here we go. The 90-90s. Yep, that's what we're doing next. So you're gonna sit on your sit bones. Let's do our prep first. Make sure that we have our alignment. So fairly tall, you can support yourself here. Flex your feet. And just do a tester, bringing the right knee or left knee down. See if it's in line with the hip and the knee angle is at 90. And then up. And then remember, it's the sit bone stays on the ground. So just do a little tester each side and make sure that you've got the alignment correct. Whole bunch of architectural 90-degree angles going on here. And the other part about this little tester is that we start to get the brain and the joint thinking about this internal rotation, the inside of the knee coming down. Nice work. Now, I'm going to make us go to the side that's harder for me first. So I'm hoping that maybe it's easier for you. You're going to take your knees to the left. Do a little check of your angles. And then go ahead and rock all the way onto your left sit bone. And once again, check the 90-90 angles. And the goal is 90, especially between the thighs. Then hands can stay down or on the chest. And we're going to do our little rock forward and back. See if you can feel the pelvis rocking forward and back. Good. If we had an hour and a half, I'd spend a lot of time on this stretch, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna go into it from a couple of warm-up exercises. All right, so here's the first one. You're gonna stay rocked back, put your hands on the floor, lift your left knee up, and then bring it back down. Head to the ceiling, lift the knee up, right up to point to the ceiling, and then bring it back down. One more time, lift the knee up. Now keep it up and rotate. Walk yourself to look over, either halfway between the legs or maybe all the way over that right knee. And then slowly lower your left knee back down. Feet are flexed. Sit bones are both down. Ideally, the right sit bone is actually down. But if not, let the sit bone drop into gravity a little more. Good. And then if you like, the hands can come off to complete the stretch. Otherwise, we breathe and wait. Hands can stay down. Good. Patience is definitely a virtue in this stretch. And over time, it really does change. That looks really good. Turn the belly button another degree. Reach the arms, grow the spine, and sink that right sit bone down for 3, 2, awesome work. It's good, it's really good, nicely done. Arms down, let's walk ourselves back around. We're gonna use the hand to slide the right leg in. Good. Give your legs a little shake first, give them a little shake, whatever that means and feels like for you. Good, and then you're gonna go back into the tester round. So nice and tall, and we'll do a little tester and see if we can get the thigh straight down from the hip and the knee angle at 90. Good, maybe just one more of each side. Okay, and then both knees to the right. Off we go, all the way over to the right. Find your 2 90-degree angles. Exactly, if the side is a lot tighter for you, just breathe. If you need something underneath that left sit bone, you can shove your cushion under there. And then we're gonna rock the pelvis forward and back. We're being really gentle. Good, just kind of like a hello to the hip socket. And of course, as we move back, we are deepening the internal rotation on that left thigh, at that left hip socket. Okay, so now both hands down and let's do the knee. So lift your right knee up, right up, and feel how the left sit bone drops a little on its own, and then lower that knee down. Lift the knee again, let the left sit bone drop, and keep the left sit bone down as you lower the right knee. And one more time, the right knee comes up. We're gonna keep it up as we rotate to turn ourselves to look over that left thigh. Good, think about the sit bone dropping, and then when you're ready, you're gonna slowly and gently let the knee lower. You don't have to push that knee down. The goal is more to get the left sit bone as close to the floor as it will go, and to rotate the body on top of the pelvis so that you're rotated over the thigh. Stay here and breathe. If the arms can come up, one or both, then they do, but don't force it. Again, patience is your best friend for this stretch, and doing it as regularly as possible will really make a difference. Sometimes you'll feel the stretch up the inner thigh. Sometimes it'll just feel like a cramp, in which case you back off a little bit and ease your way back in. Last 3, 2, awesome work. 1, arms can come down if they're up. Rotating back over the right leg, slide the left leg in. Amazing, nicely done. Give your legs a shake, shake, shake. Good work, and a little tap, tap, tap. Good, I'm not gonna make us do it again, but if there's time, we will. First, we need to do the hip ELDOAs. So come on up. Let's take left knee down, right foot forward. So we're gonna do this one first, where the standing leg is right in front of the hip socket. So not wide like the psoas stretch, but actually kind of a narrow position. Good. Hands on your hips. You're gonna try your best to level your hips and posteriorly tilt them. So the hips are side by side level, and we're going posterior tilt pubic bones to belly button. Then transfer your hands to the back of your body and give your back body something to gently press into while the thigh, this left or right thigh, stretches forward in space. So you can use your hands on your own body, but the goal is back body stays back like it's glued to the wall, and the thigh is pulling forward. Good. We want a little extra tension in that front leg, in the fascia, so push the arch of the foot down. Turn the shin out from the knee and turn the thigh in from the hip. These are going to be so tiny, these movements, but you want to feel them winding up the leg. Good. Then take the arms forward and push your ribs back, push your hands forward. Push your head up, reach your tail down. Keep the pelvis tucked strongly and take the left arm up by your ear. Good. Now we're going to lower the eyes just a little bit. Keep the posterior tilt. Pull the ribs and the sacrum back. Push your right hand and your right knee forward. Good, easy breaths. Can you grow even taller and activate your arms even more? Good, can you pull the knee forward even more, but pull the sacrum and the pelvis back? That looks good. Last 5. 4, grow taller on the left side and then the right side. 3, 2, good. Let's bring the arm down, just the left arm. Heel toe your right leg around the corner until your heel is in line with your knee, your standing knee. Bring your hands for a moment just back to your hip bones and look down. Can you, 2 things, level off the hip bones and square them to the front? You let your right knee collapse in a little bit if that's what it needs to do, but hips level and square. Let's keep our hands here. You're going to tuck the pelvis, press the knee open, but keep the hips square. Nice work. Press the arch of your right foot down. Relax your glutes. Hold your pelvis with your hands and with your awareness, and pull your right thigh to the right side of the room. So the pelvis, torso, everything else is staying centered and the thigh is pulling away. Let's add those arms. Arms coming out in front, pushing through the heels of the palms, and take the left arm up towards your ear. Activate your arms by pushing your shoulder blades towards their respective hands. Activate your spine by growing taller, more space at each level. Good, tuck your tail, square your hips, press the arch of your foot down and press your knee open. Amazing. Release the glutes and the pelvic floor so the right thigh can keep pulling towards the other side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just for a moment, bring that left arm down, bring both hands down, turn your back into a very long table. So super flat, super long. Press your right knee open a little more, aim your right pubic bone down a little more, shoot your sit bones towards the wall behind you for 10, 9, knee presses open, arch down, 8, 7, sit bone shoot behind, pubic bone to the floor for 4, 3, longer spine, 2, 1, and then slowly release the right knee in. Just change your hands so that you're on hands and knees like normal, gentle cat. Nice work. Breathe into the low back and the low belly. Hopefully you feel quite different on the right side than the left, in a good way. Let's come up and do the other side. So right knee is going to be our standing knee, left foot steps directly in front of the body. Good. So all the same stuff, it'll be familiar on this side. You might be able to go into it even a little deeper or just a little faster. So we're going to try and level off the hips and tuck the pelvis simultaneously. It's not an easy thing to do. So it's not about it being perfect. It's about doing as much of each as possible. Good. And then we're going to wind up the front leg. So arch down, shin out, thigh in. Good. Hands at the back of the body, however you like. You're going to pull the back body back and try to reach that left thigh forward. So the back of the body is back, left thigh is forward. One side is always a little harder than the other. For me, definitely it's this one. Let's take the arms out in front. We'll take that right arm up by the ear. I'm going to have to fight a little bit on this side to keep my nose, sternum, and pubic bones lined up. Then I drop the left sit bone and tuck the pelvis. I push that left thigh forward, left arm forward. I keep centering the spine, keep centering the sternum. Nice work. Wind up the leg, arch down, shin out, thigh in. Then push the arms, push the thigh, pull the back body back. Last 3 and 2. Nice work, growing taller. And then bring your right arm down. Relax the pelvis a touch so you can heel toe. The foot around, check with your eyes, 90-degree angles everywhere, heel in line with knee, hands on the hips. Good, level off the hips. Good, and press the knee open, keeping the hips level. Press the arch of your foot down. Hold your pelvis here in its posterior tilt, square level hips, and push your left thigh away from you. So here we're going to practice, before we even add the arms, we're practicing holding the pelvis and letting the thigh have its own agenda. Arms coming out in front now. You look definitely ready. Let's take the right arm up towards the ear. Wind up the arms, push them away from you. Good. Level your hip bones, tuck your pelvis. Arch of that left foot down as you press the knee back. Now we've got to relax the glutes and the pelvic floor so that we can allow that left thigh to pull away from the pelvis. And then of course we're going to breathe, grow the spine a little longer, push the arms a little more, press the knee and the arch a little more. Last 3 and 2, looks super strong. And 1, now we bring the right arm down, hinge at the hips, make yourself into a coffee table. Good, press the knee open still, but press the arch down. Lengthen your spine as much as you can. Aim your left pubic bones to the floor. Yes, nicely done. Shoot your sit bones back to the wall behind you while your head pulls forward away from the neck. Just a couple more breaths. Knee open, pubic bones down, arch down. Head forward, sit bones back. Last 3 and 2. Try to do everything at once, the same amount. And then slowly collapse the left knee in. Change the position of the hands so that you're in your cat-cow and you're going in and out. Flexion and extension, gentle work here. Nice work, really well done. Maybe interestingly, the only spine ELDOA we're doing today is L5-S1. We're gonna finish with a global postural stretch. So you're gonna come onto your side, and the position is here, knees stacked, feet stacked, thighs straight in front of the hips, elbows down. So we're gonna do this twice. The first version is a prep, the second version is the full stretch. You can always do the prep twice if you prefer. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin. Press your elbows into the floor, shoulders away from ears. Now we're gonna take the top leg and stretch it out, resting it on the ground so the inside of your foot is heavy on the ground and straight down from your hip. Be careful that it's not behind the hip. Then tuck the tail more and push through the heel. That's your left leg that's long, so it's the left arm that's gonna stretch. Slide your left hand along the mat. You're reaching overhead towards the top end of your mat. Once you're at your maximum reach, your arm can't go further, externally rotate from the shoulder and extend the wrist. Push the pinky side of your hand along the mat. Push the inside of your foot along the floor. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, and let yourself pull top to bottom, all the left side of the body getting longer. Make sure your tail stays tucked and your ribs don't collapse forward. Yeah, it's really nice. Make sure the head and neck are part of the stretch. Good, breathing into it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the arm is going to come right back into where it started, elbow down. The leg is coming back into where it started as well. I'm going to show you, let's try the full stretch. So you're going to come up onto your hands so that you're kind of in this like stretching cat sort of position. Slide your top leg back out to where it was, inside of the foot, pressing on the floor. And then what you need to do is you need to let your hips rock forward a little bit. You're going to walk your hands along the floor until your armpits, your face, and your forehead are down on the floor. If you have glasses on, you might have to take them off. Then from here, externally rotate the arms, extend the wrists. Your arms ideally are quite close to the sides of the head. Tuck your pelvis, push through your long leg a lot. Anchor the armpits down and push through both arms. And keep the ribs in line with the rest of the spine. Keep the chin in. Good. Keep breathing here. I want you to feel a big stretch along the left side of the body. Imagine the left armpit sinking to the ground for 5. And 4. Yeah, great work. 3, 2. How are we going to get out of this gently? You're going to soften your arms and leg. Walk your hands in by your face and push yourself gently up. Swing your legs around to the other side. Nicely done. That full stretch is a big one. So I think we'll start with the prep version first. So knees and feet stacked, elbows down. Give yourself a moment here. Sometimes this rotation itself is quite a good stretch. You're going to tuck your tail and lengthen your spine, get all those good foundations in place. Shoulders away from the ears. Now we're going to take the top leg, stretch it straight down from the hip, not behind. Let the inside of your foot feel heavy on the floor. You're going to need that. And then slide your right hand along the floor until you truly can't reach it any further. Then you externally rotate from the shoulder, extend the wrist, and maybe you can slide the heel of the hand, the pinky side of the hand along the floor a little more. Tucking the tail, bringing the ribs back, and bringing the neck in line with the spine. We're going to push the leg and arm equally. So you really want to feel that you're working through the outside seam of the leg and from the armpit out to the hand for 3. Yeah, that looks excellent. And 2, breathe, of course. Try and get into the stretch. Don't run away from it. And then bring the arm in. Bring the leg in and just bring yourself up onto your hands now. Try not to sit back into your hips. You're going to keep your hips stacked and walk your hands out wide. We're going to slide the top leg long again. Our goal is to get the forehead and face down, arms close to the ears, external rotation, extended wrists, takes a little bit of wiggling. You might have to walk your torso forward and keep your hips stacked. And then you're gonna push through the lateral seam of that top leg. So think outside ankle bone pushes, armpits flat, spine long, tail tucked. The arms are active, even though it feels like maybe they can't move, slide them further. Breathe into the stretch. Sometimes we feel this in the front of the belly, that's okay. Be soft with your breath. Focus on the stretch, focus on the leg and the arms and the spine for 5, 4, 3, awesome, 2, 1. Slowly relax the arms, bring the leg in, gently press yourself up. Yes, awesome work, well done. Okay, so we have time to go back to the wall for L5-S1. Wow, I think it's gonna feel different now, so here we go. I feel like I'm making a bit of a bold decision, not doing any lower back ELDOAs other than L5, but I don't know, that's good to know. How much of a change can we get from working on the peripheral joints and not the spine itself? So same exact setup. So this is as much a scientific experiment as possible, which I know it's not at all. Anecdotal at best. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna wiggle my sit bones in. Okay, I definitely feel, Whew. Okay, definitely feel like my hips are, I don't know, the back of my pelvis is a little bit heavier and wider. Interesting, okay. All right, 3 breaths to let the back body settle into the ground. So 3 breaths, knees a little bit soft. I forgot about that part. Keep relaxing as you breathe. Good, and then the first thing we did was tailbone reaching, top of sacrum heavy. So getting the sacrum and the tailbone in their active positions. Then sliding both legs to straight and flexing the feet. And we just left the legs there, opening the back of the knee joints. So really open that knee. Okay, arms up to the ceiling. External rotation, extended wrists, and then start to turn the thighs in, noticing how arms are turned out, thighs are turned in. Externally rotate the shins and invert the feet. Okay, let's take the arms back towards the ears. So we're gonna slowly lower the arms. This part feels a little easier for sure. I think that last stretch probably really opened up the shoulders. Let's think about this, the tailbone stretching down like a little drawbridge towards the seam between the floor and the ceiling, or the floor and the wall. Pull with your arms. You're using your arms to pull yourself away from your low back. Thighs in, shins out, feet inverted. Heels of the palms and heels of the feet active, little tingles in the body. Relaxed jaw and relaxed belly. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the arms come up, release left arm down, then right arm. Release left leg and then right leg. While we're here, let's open the legs out to the sides for a nice V stretch. You can put your hands wherever you want, and we're going to take 5 belly breaths. So we breathe in, and we breathe out. Nice. Island. Have a good one. Breathing in, breathing out, and again. One more breath in, and out. You can help your legs back in, soften the knees. And you can stay there as long as you have. Good, and just don't forget to rehydrate because that was a lot of stretching and pulling. Nicely done.